Hello, one and all, is my view of That Time I Reincarnated as Slime, Season 2, Episode 8, and I am so glad that reviewing this episode is my 500th video, because, oh my god, this episode definitely deserves that honor. I mean, it was so good, yet at the same time, it was so cruel. I mean, seriously, start this episode, it seems like everything's back to normal. Yes, Rimuru suffered a big loss, he lost all of his goblin people, but, he didn't lose anyone too important, and it looks like he's able to get over it, he's back to smiling with his friends, making jokes, everyone laughing at Gopta together, but then, oh god, then he has to ask, hey, where's Shion? Which is a question I think a lot of us were wondering after last episode. Why wasn't she mentioned? Why wasn't she shown? She's always, right there by Rimuru's side, so where is she? And then we see her, and oh god, I think my favorite part of this whole scene was Gopta. I mean, you could seriously hear the pain and agony and loss in his voice as he's screaming and crying about the loss of his friend. It worked so well because everyone else, they're remaining silent. They're feeling the exact same pain that Gopta is feeling right now, but they aren't expressing it. He's expressing the pain for them, and oh god, it works so well. I so loved how this scene went, and just applause to Gopta's voice actor. But speaking of letting out that pain, we then see Rimuru letting out his pain. Rimuru is overwhelmed by these emotions, by these feelings. He loses control of his aura, and he almost freaking kills Rigurd. I mean, let's not forget that Rimuru is incredibly powerful. I mean, back when he first met the goblins, his aura actually caused them physical pain, and he has become so much stronger since then with Rigurd in his weakened state. If Rimuru hadn't held back, if Rimuru hadn't concealed and bound his aura up again, it would have actually probably killed him. Rimuru's grief almost killed somebody. I freaking love that. And then he just, asked to be left alone and mourn in peace. And oh god, I just absolutely love Shuna going in and hugging him, just telling him, she's there for him because she feels so utterly helpless. There's literally nothing she can do to help the slime that she loves right now, and just gotta hurt her, especially her. I mean, let's not forget, when the other Kaijin go to battle, she stays home. She stays back waiting for them to return. She always feels a sense of utter helplessness as they go out to fight, and now she's feeling that again here because there's nothing she can do to help Rimuru. Oh god, that's gotta hurt her. That's gotta hurt her. And, speaking of hurting, we then have Rimuru asking Great Sage again and again, did I do something wrong here? Did I make the right choice? What could I have done differently? And even a magical supercomputer can't answer that question. Even she can't tell with 100% accuracy if he made the right choice. If, him doing something else would have made things end better or worse. If he hadn't, teamed up, partnered with the humans, would they still have attacked him? Would they attack him sooner? He just doesn't know if he made the right choice, and neither does Great Sage. Oh god, that hurts. That hurts so badly. And yet, despite all this pain, Rimuru can't cry. He can't shed those tears, even though he feels so awful. And, oh god, then, just as he loses control, as he continues to be overwhelmed by the grief, the mask breaks. It literally cracks down, forming a tear going down his face. It is just such an absolutely amazing metaphor for the emotions and the pain and the energy he just can't control anymore, and I freaking love it. Oh, I love it. Though there's something I do want to mention here. I said in my last video, I've seen a lot of people saying this online, that Shion's death reveal should have been how they ended last episode. And while I did think that myself after rewatching this episode, I no longer think that's true. I mean, seriously, anime only watchers, when you saw that Shion was dead, did you truly, in your heart of heart, believe that she was gonna stay dead, that she was actually gonna stay dead? I mean, it seems unlikely. Shion is such a major part of the story. I just couldn't actually see it happening. So with them not showing her death, them just saying, oh, it's just the goblins that got killed here, it made it feel like the deaths were more permanent, like there was no chance of them actually coming back. And that just made it all the more impactful than if they'd actually shown Shion's death as well. At least that's how I'm viewing it. But then anyway, Eren and the other three stooges show up and offer Rimuru a helping hand. A 1 in a million shot of actually managing to reawaken, to revive his dead comrades. And Rimuru just needs this. He needs it to be true. He needs it to be the case. He needs them with him if he ever wants to continue living this life. So even if there's only a tiny, minuscule, impossible chance, he's going to grab onto it. He's going to do whatever he can to make it come true. And then Eren reveals herself to be an elven princess, which Yeah, I am not seeing a lot of people freak out about that. That feels like the kind of thing that we should freak out about. I mean, when I first read that part of the light novel, I screamed for quite a while. I mean, this clumsy, goofball little girl who keeps walking headfirst into danger by complete accident is a freaking elven princess. That weirded me out so much. But on the other hand, this is definitely a trope in the fantasy genre, you know? Oh, the kind, nice, down-to-the-earth girl that you meet early on in your adventure, she ends up being a secret princess? Who'd have thunk it? I definitely didn't thunk it for Erin. I definitely did not thunk that for her. But then she begins to tell a story. The dark, dark story of Malim, the daughter of a true dragon and a human girl who was given a baby dragon as her best and only friend in the whole wide world. And this just really goes to show why she was so attached to Rimuru when he said, hey, do you want to be friends with me? Because, you know, she lost her friend. That was the last real friend she had all those centuries ago. And meeting Rimuru managed to fill that hole in her heart just a little bit. That's why, you know, Rimuru means so much to her, because her last friend was brutally murdered in front of her. Oh god, that's gotta be heartbreaking. And then, you know, Malim responded to that as I think a lot of us would. She decided to murder the king and burn the entire country to the ground, which definitely feels like a well-reasoned response, but, you know, that didn't really stop her anger, so she kept murdering more and more people until she was stopped by two very important figures. I mean, seriously, anyone who's read the light novel or even just up to this point in the manga has a fairly good idea of who one of those figures is. Seriously, even if you're anime only, you might be able to figure it out. Oh, it's absolutely hilarious. It's absolutely freaking hilarious. But just while I'm talking about this, oh my freaking god, I need to just gush for a second. This artwork of Malim's past, it is so overwhelmingly beautiful. I mean, seriously, every one of these shots is like a work of art. If anyone who's watching this managed to find some high-res still images of these flashbacks, please let me know. I want to see them. I want them. And if down the road they end up becoming posters, I will definitely get them and, you know, just cover my walls with them. They are that freaking beautiful. But then Malim's story got even sadder because her evolution to Demon Lord also caused her dragon to evolve, even though he was dead. But because his soul had been lost, he evolved into a chaos dragon and went on a murderous rampage, and Malim had to seal him away, which just, oh my freaking lord. God, that's a very, very dark background. I mean, actually, when Rimuru first asked Malim last season why she became a Demon Lord, her response was, I guess something sad happened. Yeah, that's fairly sad, Malim. That's fairly sad. Oh, this poor girl. Malim deserves a hug. She really, really deserves a hug. You know, once she's done with her whole war against Carrion and his nation, that's a whole other issue. We definitely gotta get back to that at some point. And so the story basically tells Rimuru how to become a Demon Lord. It also means that Erin basically just committed treason against her home nation, which I feel like that's going to be a problem, but moving on. All Rimuru needs to do is kill 10,000 people and consume their souls. So, okay, yeah, that got dark very, very quickly. And I am seeing a lot of people online complaining about how Rimuru can just revive the dead, there's no point to it. No, there was definitely a point to that. I mean, when Zoe reported in telling Rimuru that 20,000 soldiers were on their way to Tempest, Rimuru laughed and said, perfect. This even unnerved Zoe. This unnerved Zoe, for God's sake. This is Rimuru, this big, silly goofball who did everything he could to make Tempest a place where humans could come, could trade, could have a great time. He built a freaking spa for them, for God's sake. He is laughing at the thought that he can go murder 20,000 people. Holy mother of God! This is not the same silly little goofball of Rimuru we've known since the first episode. This is a much, much darker version of him. One who's willing to do whatever it takes for the sake of his people, to save them, to protect them, to bring them back from the dead. He will cross any line. He will do anything. And I'm seeing some people online saying, well, if he only needs 10,000, he'll probably spare the other 10,000 because that's just who he is. Or, oh, maybe he'll just take like half the souls out of every one of the soldiers and that's how he'll do it. And then he won't actually need to kill them. No. That is not who Rimuru is right now. In fact, I'm pretty sure in this part of the light novel, Rimuru even said, you know, if the 20,000 wasn't enough, he'd go to Falmouth itself and start murdering the citizens until he reached the threshold he needed. Oh, this is a much, much darker Rimuru, and I freaking love it. So it definitely makes a lot of sense when it goes to, you know, murder Mulan after this. This was actually kind of a weird scene for me because in the manga, I actually just reread the manga the other night, Rimuru gets the whole explanation from her about claiming everything after he finds out Shion, after he decides to become a demon lord. So I thought it was weird they kind of split it up here, but when I was watching this episode again, I realized, okay, it makes a lot of sense. When Rimuru was listening to her story, he's the still, kind, innocent Rimuru, but afterwards, after he's made the decision to become a demon lord, to go on a mass killing spree, he's become someone different. And so when he says, I'm going to kill you now, you really believe it. You really believe that he's about to execute Mulan here. Though, thankfully, he was just acting so he could destroy a listening device inside her heart. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like this new Rimuru. I like this Rimuru who's willing to get stuff done, who's willing to do whatever it takes for his people, but at the same time, I don't think any of us wanted Rimuru to become some sort of edgelord who's always growling and talking about he's going to go murder and kill people. That's not the Rimuru we know and love. We still want him to be able to smile and laugh with his friends. We just want him to, also be willing to fight to defend them. And of course, I am seeing a lot of people online complaining about how Mulan got off too easy. Oh, should have been thrown in jail, should have been executed. And while I am all about that revenge, I mean, seriously, I've been plotting my own revenge for almost a decade now, that would have served absolutely zero purpose. I mean, Rimuru straight up said, she's gonna help him with the spell to revive the dead, and after that, she'd probably end up, becoming Yome's queen. The queen to a man who started off life as a mercenary slave, who can barely read and has absolutely zero etiquette or manners. That is way, way worse punishment than life in prison. Though, seriously, let's take the moment to appreciate the fact that Rimuru just announced that Yome is going to become the next king of Falmouth. Oh, I love it. I absolutely freaking love it. I love it. I mean, seriously, at the start of the series, Yome was a slave, mercenary, prisoner who was sent out to basically get killed by the orc disaster to figure out exactly how strong it was. And then Rimuru raised him up to be a champion, a defender of the people. And now Rimuru is raising him up to be basically the puppet head of a state. I just absolutely freaking love that. Only Rimuru could come up with that plan. Only Rimuru could see Yome and think to himself, that man could be king. Oh, that's gonna be amazing. It's be absolutely freaking amazing. Seriously, I would just love an entire spin-off series of Yome trying to be king, trying to figure out exactly, what differences between a duke and a baron is, and table manners and etiquette, and just all of that. Oh, I absolutely freaking love it. I absolutely freaking love it. And he did kind of ask for that, though, when he was begging Rimuru again and again to save Mulan's life. He said, I'll take whatever punishment you want to give out to her. I'll, spend my life trying to make amends for what she's done. Well, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to spend the rest of your life making amends for her actions by literally being the head of a state that's going to be super friendly to Tempest. All hail King Yome and Demon Lord Rimuru. I cannot freaking wait. I cannot freaking wait for next episode. Oh, this one was so good. This is so freaking amazing. But please, let me think of all this down below. What'd you think of this episode? What'd you think of Shion's death? And just Gobta's wailing on top of it. I just think that was such a great combo. But did you think she was actually going to stay dead? Did you think Rimuru was going to find a way to bring her back to life? And what'd you think about the reveal that Eren is secretly a freaking princess? I think cousin to the Empress? I can't remember the exact relation. But yeah, she's definitely high up there. And now Rimuru's announcing he's gonna go murder 10 to 20,000 people to make himself a freaking demon lord. That definitely, I don't think is how a lot of people thought this season was gonna go. I mean, seriously, some people were like, oh, Rimuru's too lighthearted. Rimuru's too nice after the first season came out. And I just laughed and laughed when I saw people saying that. Oh, just you wait, just you wait. I mean, yes, I'm definitely glad Rimuru's still keeping his, childlike demeanor. I mean, seriously, as he's making this deal with Yome, he's sitting on the bed cross-legged, just looking so cute and adorable. So yeah, he's still gonna keep his, inner cuteness, his inner friendliness and goofiness, but at the same time become someone who's willing to get stuff done, willing to do what needs to be done for the sake of his people, and I just really like that. I like that evolution for him as a character. And now we're gonna see his evolution to freaking Demon Lord. Oh, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be so fun. Seems like next episode is gonna start with a discussion among all his advisors about what they should do next, Should they continue dealing with humans? Should they change their policies? What are they gonna be the rules moving forward? And what's gonna happen when their boss evolves into a freaking demon lord? Oh, I cannot wait for that. I cannot freaking wait. But let me think all this down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video. Until then, peace!